I've tried to film this video like 4 times, but every time I'm like watching back to edit, I just don't feel like the energy is right. And I think it's because I was like standing up. So I'm going to try and do a little more casual, a little more sit down, a little more chit chat situation. But yeah, hopefully this video like turns out because I need this to go up today. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Morgan. This is my channel Pisces Paperbacks, and today I'm going to be filming and telling you my TBR for the Asian Readathon. May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and of course I am and we should all be reading books by Asian American authors and Asian authors throughout the entire year, but this is a really cool time to very intentionally celebrate the incredible stories and books that are being written and worked on by Asian authors all over the world. So I am really excited to participate. I think it's been organized the past 3 years by Cindy from Read with Cindy, or I think her channel's just like Sit with Cindy now, which is kind of cool. But I am super excited to participate because it's very low-key. It's a month-long readathon. I know this video was going up a whole week into the month, but I didn't decide to film it until yesterday. So, you know, you get what you get. I'm really excited to participate, and there's only 5 prompts. They're very easy prompts to hit, but the extra layer is that while you can double up, like one book can count for multiple prompts, but each book that you're using to like meet the different prompts has to be by an author of a different background, since Asian is often used as a monolith and it's not. There's a lot of different ethnic diversity within the Asian umbrella. So I'm really excited to show you the 4 books that I've picked out specifically. I'm planning on reading more books by Asian authors this year than just these, or this month than just these 4, but they're probably going to be like impulsive audiobook picks, so I'm not going to be able to say what they are ahead of time, and you will see them in my readathon vlog that's going to be going up next month because I'm filming this whole month and it's going to be really fun. So yes, let's dive right on into it. The first book I want to talk about is Phoenix Extravagant by Yoon Lee. This is the only library book. The other books are all books that I own, which is really cool. And this is a fantasy novel by a Korean author about a character named Jebi, and they're an artist and they're just trying to get by. They're trying to make some money, and it's difficult because their country 6 years prior to the events of the book was conquered by an invading nation. And so they are recruited to the Ministry of Armor by this like in the new government, and they kind of discover that there's some shit going down, and even though they never wanted to be a revolutionary, they never wanted to do all that, they kind of find themselves pushed into a position where they have to choose whether or not it's the time to fight. It just sounds so cool. I read a short story by this author last month and fell in love with it, so I'm super excited to dive into more of his work, even though this is fantasy and I believe he mostly writes sci-fi, but I find that the sci-fi that I enjoy the most is the kind that leans really heavy into the fantasy realm. So I'm really excited for this one, and I'm using this for the prompts book by an Asian, or book with an Asian protagonist, and also a non-US centric book by an Asian author, because this is a fantasy book that is very purposefully not inspired by like Western culture, and it's like something that's talked about a lot within the book. I've already started reading it. Sorry. I'm really excited about it. And the main character is non-binary or androgynous. It's, you know, it's not the same way that we conceptualize gender. So they use they, them pronouns. And there's also a really cool dragon automaton named Arazi that Jebi befriends and kind of bonds with. So yeah, it's just, I'm really excited for this one. Then for a book by an Asian author, I am going to be reading Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Kazuo Ishiguro is a British author who has a Japanese background, so I'm really excited to read this one. It was a gift for my birthday last year from my mom, and I've literally heard nothing but good things about it. I also don't really know what it's about. I feel like people tend to shy away from talking about the details of this book because I think there's gonna be like a plot twist or something, but generally, I believe it's about a woman who is recounting her childhood with her friends at a boarding school where things are not all that they seem. So I really can't wait for this one. I've heard it's so good. And if something's the winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature, does it mean the book itself or the author? Because either way, this one is a winner or he is a winner. So yeah. Pretty cool. Next is to read a nonfiction book by an Asian author, and for that I'm going to be reading White Tears, Brown Scars, How White Feminism Betrays Women of Color by Ruby Hamad. This is by I believe her family's Lebanese, so her family's from Lebanon, and I'm really excited to read this one. I've read books with similar topics before, but they're by Black women, like Black American women. So I'm always interested in hearing from a slightly different perspective and learning new information. And I just can't wait to pick this one up, even though I am a bit intimidated by reading a nonfiction book physically. I tend to read them with audiobooks because that's easier for me and I still retain the information. But I think I'm going to start this soon and like work my way through chapter by chapter. Okay, I'm flipping it open for the first time. Why is this book isn't even 300 pages. Why is it so big? I don't know if you can tell, but these books are the same length. Why is this one huge? This is one that I'm going to be reading for that prompt. I'm very excited. And then lastly, the last book that I'm specifically picking out, like pre-picking out for this readathon, is to read a book by an Asian author in your favorite genre. And as we all know, my favorite genre is, oh my god, I was going to say fantasy. It's romance. We all know it's romance. And so I'm going to be reading Accidentally Engaged by Farah Heron, who is an Indian author. And so this book, I'm so excited, is about Reena, and she refuses to let her parents be the ones who introduce her to her future husband. She just like won't let that be her life, and she's kind of regretting it now because she meets like Mr. Perfect, and I think he like works for her parents or something like that. But when Reena and Nadeem, that's the guy's name, get the chance to go on a couples cooking competition show, they have to pretend to be engaged, and it like kind of goes from there. And I'm so excited. That it sounds wonderful, and I just can't wait to read it. So these are the 4 books that I'm planning on reading this month, and you will see the process of all of that in a month-long Asian Readathon vlog that I have already started. So I'm really excited, and I think there's also like a lot of really good variety in here because, I don't know, like 4 different genres, very different backgrounds for all the authors. Really excited. Let me know if you are planning on participating in the Asian Readathon and what you are going to be reading, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!